Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. George Pickens' Steelers stint will end very badly, predicts ex-GM. Despite coming off a tough loss to the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-3 and in first place in the AFC North. The offense has looked vastly improved since Russell Wilson replaced Justin Fields at quarterback. Maybe the biggest beneficiary has been wide receiver George Pickens. Pickens, who has previously caught some heat for both on and off the field antics, has quieted down and played some very good football. But that did not stop former NFL general manager Doug Whaley from taking a shot at Pickens. Whaley joined the Fan Morning Show on Wednesday and made an unflattering comparison. "Everybody knows it's going to come to an end very badly," Whaley said. "He is talented, and what I call talent is this great seductress. So Medusa is there, and you keep Medusa until it comes to an end, just like it did with A.B., Antonio Brown, just like Santonio Holmes. Just keep on running down the list, but I would do it just for right now, because you've got a window, the defense is hanging on by a thread." Whaley is right that Pickens is incredibly talented. He is undeniably one of the best contested catch receivers in the league. But to refer to him as Medusa, who in Greek mythology referred to a woman with snakes in her hair and whose stare would turn you to stone, seems a bit far. But also, the defense is far from hanging on by a thread. Since his rookie season with the Steelers, Pickens' antics have been a cause for concern. But in 2024, they have not appeared as prominent. Much of that has to do with Pittsburgh's winning ways. They came out of the gates hot and have not slowed down. The defense is playing great, as always. Pickens has come on with Wilson installed as the starting quarterback. In the 5 games since the change, Pickens has 413 yards receiving on 27 catches with 2 touchdowns. The 6 games prior, he had just 25 catches for 363 yards and no touchdowns. But that does not mean the third-year receiver hasn't had his issues. He reportedly argued with wide receivers coach Zach Azzanni during the preseason. During a Week 5 loss to the Dallas Cowboys, Pickens' lack of effort went viral. He has also allegedly been late to team practices several times. That prompted some teammates to anonymously say they were getting tired of his antics. The question is, how long will Pittsburgh put up with this behavior? If they keep winning and he keeps producing, it will probably last a long time. But if the season begins to fall apart, it will be interesting to see how this relationship plays out. Pickens is still on his rookie deal. They could move him during the off-season and likely receive decent compensation because of the aforementioned talent. Jameis Winston reveals when he really felt like a member of the Browns. The Cleveland Browns are playing with new life since Jameis Winston stepped in as the starting quarterback. The Browns are 2-2 with Winston as the starter after Deshaun Watson went down with a season-ending torn Achilles. The latest of those wins was a huge 24-19 upset over the Pittsburgh Steelers in an AFC North rivalry. The game was played in a blizzard, but Winston was still able to run a functional offense in terrible weather conditions in the second half. Some people say that you aren't officially a Brown until you beat the Steelers. On Wednesday, Winston was asked if Thursday night's win officially made him a Cleveland Brown. "I do. I really do. I'm so grateful that we were able to get last week's victory, man," Winston said, per the team's official transcript. "But man, we have to see that team again. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this division. That's the beautiful thing about football is when you see a great battle and you have historic nights. That was a historic night to me, probably not in history, but that was an extraordinary night. There's definitely going to be some snow globes coming out soon. But after that it's recuperate, focus on the main thing. What's the main thing? Going out there and playing the best football we could play against the Denver Broncos, who have a great defense, who have a great young quarterback that's from Alabama, that's doing some great things and has a great leader in Sean Payton. The Browns are in yet another primetime spot this week, just 1 week after their snowy upset of the Pittsburgh Steelers. On Monday night, the Browns will be looking to pull off another upset over an AFC playoff team when they take on the Denver Broncos. A Browns offense that looked dead in the water earlier this season with Deshaun Watson at the helm is starting to find a little bit of a groove. Nick Chubb is back to boost the running game, and the Browns receivers are settling into defined roles after Amari Cooper was traded away. Jerry Jeudy has become the top guy for this group along with tight end David Njoku. Elijah Moore is also having a minor career resurgence. Winston gives them all a chance to succeed by constantly being willing to push the ball down the field and create explosive plays for an offense that desperately needs it. On defense, the Browns are playing even better than they were earlier in the season. It didn't have any massive personnel changes like the offense did, but this unit is much closer to last season's elite group than it was at the start of the season. With this team rounding into form at this point in the season, the Browns won't be an easy out for anybody down the stretch. Losing to a division rival isn't easy, especially if you're Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. After losing to the Browns in Week 12 on Thursday Night Football, Tomlin was real about having an opportunity to win the game over their division opponent. "We had an opportunity to get into our 4-minute offense and maybe close the game out," Tomlin said via SteelerNation.com. "We were unsuccessful in that endeavor, and we coupled that with, a less-than-ideal punt." Tomlin was referring to a 15-yard punt by punter Corliss Whiteman. Although the snow and wind made it difficult for every offensive player, it wasn't an excuse for Tomlin. Regardless, the punt was less than ideal, especially considering the circumstances of the game. Cleveland was primed to finish a rocky season after Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles. Not to mention, backup quarterback Jameis Winston played hero ball in the Browns' victory. However, Tomlin's comments came unprompted. While the situation happened, it doesn't make matters easier for the special teams and Whiteman specifically. After all, he did replace Cameron Johnston after he went down with an injury and has filled the role quite well. Nick Chubb reveals his honest thoughts about beating Steelers. Fans would understand running back Nick Chubb if he was emotional in his team's 24-19 upset of the Pittsburgh Steelers last week. Chubb was injured last season during a Week 2 contest against the Steelers. The veteran running back did not show any unusual displays of emotion last Thursday as he played against the team that ended his season last year. Analyst Fred Greetham gave the running back another opportunity to express his emotions about the memorable win and his strong performance during the team's press conference on Wednesday. To Chubb, beating the Steelers during his 2-touchdown performance was like another game. Obviously, it felt good to get a win against a divisional opponent, but other than that, it was just a regular game. "Happy to be back with the boys," Chubb said. The Pro Bowl running back finished with 59 rushing yards on 20 touches and 2 scores. Cleveland controlled the game for much of the contest, extending their lead to 18-6 early in the fourth quarter. But 2 turnovers on back-to-back possessions by quarterback Jameis Winston allowed the Steelers to take a 19-18 lead late in the fourth period. Winston then led the Browns' offense on a game-deciding drive, one where Chubb punched in the final score to beat Pittsburgh last week. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Nick Chubb? Leave your opinion in the comments.